Hello and welcome. My name is Abdul Ibrahim, and today I'm going to be giving a presentation on Chapter 2, Storing Data for Computer Science 120. So first things first, we have to have our definitions, data type, and character. Data is a collection of values that we store and manipulate with a computer, and the data type is a type of data that we want to store. For examples, like we have variables that can be symbolized with letters from the alphabet. For example, H. H would be considered a data type. R could be considered a data type if given a value. So with our characters and strings, the characters, these values that I was that I mentioned earlier, there is something called the Csc2, the American Standard Code for Information Interchange, or ASCII, not 2. Each character is assigned a unique decimal value. There's over 65,000 different characters with different decimal values. So also, we have integers. Integers are numerical values without decimals, and then we have floating point. Floating point is a term that I'm pretty sure you're not familiar with. But a floating point is a numerical value with a decimal, 1.5, 1.15. An integer is a numerical value without a decimal, 1 through infinity, really, and negative. We also have operators and operands. Your operators are everyone's familiar with it, maybe not the terminology, but adding, subtracting, division. These are your operators, and your operators are used to manipulate your operands. So adding two numerical values would be considered manipulation of the operands using operators. So again, addition is subtraction. Everyone's familiar with that. Adding two numbers, subtracting two numbers. When you have two values that you're adding, they're called the addends. -4 plus -16 is -20. 4 plus 4 is 8. They're both addends. Subtraction is similar to addition if you change the sign of the second addend. So if you have 8 plus -2, you'll get 6. So when we talk about our multiplicative operators, we have 4 multiplicative operators. We have addition and subtraction, but those aren't multiplicative operators. They're just operators. The multiplicative operators would be your multiplication, your division, your integer division, which might not be too familiar, but it's in the name, and modulus, which, unless you're a computer scientist, you would not know. So everyone's familiar with multiplication, and now people are also familiar with the different types of symbols, but the symbol used in the Python code would be the asterisk for the multiplication symbol. So 4.2 asterisk 5 would give you 21. Another multiplicative operator would be your division symbol. So your division symbol isn't your normal division sign, but everyone's aware of the slash, the backslash, used as a division sign. So 8/2 would equal 4. 8 divided by 2 would equal 4. Then we have our integer division, which is symbolized by 2 slashes. And what your integer division is it divides, but it gives you an integer value as your product rather than including the decimals. So an example would be 6.8 divided by 2. It would give you 3 because it also, when you're using integer division, it would round down. So 6.8 divided by 2 would be 3.4. 3.4 would round down to 3. If it were 7 divided by 2, it would be 3.5 and it would round up to 4. The modulus symbol is also not a familiar symbol. It's the percent symbol located on your number 5 on your keyboard. It gives you the remainder of your equation when you use it. So 7 divided by 2 would be 1, because 7 divided by 2 is 3.5, correct? So the 0.5 is the remainder. 0.5 times 2, because we divided by 2, would give you 1. So that would be your remainder. So we also have another symbol, the negation symbol. What negation does is it takes the value, so 4, a value that you put the value 4, let's say, we'll just use the number 4. And when you add a negation symbol, the negative sign to the front of it, it gives you the reciprocal, so -2. We have our unary operators, only one number to the right of the symbol, and we have our binary operators. It has a number on either side of the symbol. So we also have exponents. Exponents are used in code as well. Exponents are used as a shortcut for multiplication when you want to multiply a value, the same value multiple times. So you want to multiply 3 3 times, you'd put 3, the upwards cone, small upwards cone, and then you'd put a 3, which would symbolize 3 times 3 times 3, giving you 27. Casting is the last definition. And casting converts data from one type to another. So using the Csc120 codes, we could get the definition associated with a character that you'd want to define and put that in there in exchange or substituting another term, and you would get that same output for the character that you did. So now we have our operator precedence table. We talked about multiplicative operators, additive operators. We talked about urinary, casting, exponents, but what goes first? So first we start with our parentheses. It's the highest order of precedence. Whatever's in the parentheses goes first. This is very familiar if you took Algebra 2. Then it goes your exponent. And then actually it goes the unary, then the cast, then the multiplicative operators, and then the additive operators. In conclusion, computers store data of varying types, and computers can manipulate integers and floating point numbers with numerical operators, the ones that we've discussed. You can change from one data type from another using the casting from the Csc120 table, and operators follow a specific precedence to determine the order of operations. Thank you very much. Again, my name is Abdul Ibrahim. Thank you for listening.